Taurus ascendant, Taurus rising. How are you doing, Taurus? I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are safe. I hope that you are warm. I hope that you have a home where you are loved and that you are being cherished. Together, we're going to go through October. We're also going to touch in on November for you. There's a lot of interesting nuggets for this month. Lots of interesting stuff. And a lot of it occurred at the end of September, actually, because we had Saturn stand still. But it's Saturn in Capricorn. And Capricorn energy also has Pluto, also has Jupiter there. So we're going to see through the month of October changes occurring. And these changes are big changes that'll be very obvious in our life because they're in Capricorn. And Capricorn is our tangible security, the tangible world. It is our professional work. It is our ambitions, our professional goals. Capricorn energy is the big boss energy. It's just like the highest of the highest. It's that goat that just won't stop, that keeps on climbing. We can visually see this. It's not like some below the surface stuff. It's not like some behind the scenes where I can't see what's going on, where it's hidden. This is a month where we should be able to really track, engage, and observe the professional ambitions in our life, our professional beliefs. You, Taurus, have Capricorn energy in your 9th house. Now, this is Taurus ascendant, Taurus rising. If you're not sure, as you're listening to this video, you're thinking, well, I have a Taurus birthday. Am I Capricorn? Is this me? Do I have Capricorn in my 9th house? So what you want to do is comment your birth digits below. Right there, comment them below. That's your birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. If you don't feel comfortable with that, comment below, gee, I would like to know. And then from there, I can give you additional ways to contact me. Or you can just go down below the video. There's a website right down below. It's under each and every video, astrog.com, astrog.com. And there you can then communicate with me one-on-one, and it's private. The first thing we're going to go through is we can't forget Mercury. Mercury is in a retrograde. It begins October 11th. But we're going to back up. We're going to go to the first of the month. But before the first of the month, we had Saturn going direct very but end of September. And so being in Capricorn energy, this is a belief about your future work. This has to do with your professional world because your 9th house, this is also the house of law. This is the house of the court system. I'm trying to create new work for myself and understanding that my work going forward may not include my physical body in the way that it once did. It's all this Aryan energy, right? And the Aryan energy for you is going to be tucked away, 12th house. How have you been? What has been going on in your life? Tell me how your summer has been, because here we are, we're on a new season. We're in fall. You know, it's autumn now. The leaves are changing. Are the leaves changing where you are? The leaves are changing by us. Our nighttime temperatures already are in the 40s. You know, daytime high was in the 50s, has been in the 50s this week. We even had rain, and that's not comfortable. 50s and rain, ugh, right? It's been interesting because even though, oh no, summer's ended and now, you know, and there's a part of this that is nice because as time goes on, that means 2020 will be ending. When is 2021 coming? Racing to the finish line. Like this is a year we'll be like, oh, thank God that year's over. Thank God 2014's over. Thank God 2015's behind us. Thank God. Like it's been a rough road for many. When we thought we had it rough before, right? 2020 just took the word rough a whole nother level. Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. This is for you, Taurus. I came back. It was getting late on that other one. It was getting really dark. So we're going to pick back up and talk to you today. Because you're a Taurus ascendant, that's Earth energy. All right. We've got the Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto all in Capricorn energy. And that's Earth as well. So those bad boys, the big boys, I should say, standing still and going direct will have a major impact in your life in some way. Because you're of a Taurus on your ascendant, Earth on the ascendant. Capricorn being Earth trines it. And the word trine means adds ease to your life. An Earth energy, Earth is all about touch and see, all about our physical world. Earth in Taurus is all about our tangible resources. It's our money. It's income, things that are coming in. It's how we're earning. It's our values, you know, our tangible values, what we value. The next sign is the Virgo, right? And so that Virgo energy, also Earth, Virgo is our routines, our habits, our day-to-day stuff. Typically, we associate it with our health routines, our job routines, our work habits, our health habits. Trining, right, because it's Earth. So that means the Jupiter, the Pluto, the Saturn, standing still and then going direct sends a trine to that area of your life as well, which means it adds ease to that area of your life. And then we've got Capricorn, right, where the big boys are at. So the placements for you, all right, I'm going to talk about the 3 placements. So it's house number 1, house number 5, and house number 9. All right, 1, 5, and 9 is where your earth energies line up. So there should be some sort of a grand ease that occurs there in your life. So to explain what those houses are, the first is my appearance. It's who I am. It's your ascendant, right? It's your Taurus energy. It is how you appear in the world. The first house is very much about our physical body. It's not just the appearance, but like if something were to square the ascendant, it would be a stress and attention on your physical body. Because Taurus represents stamina and endurance, right? So in other words, if there's an ease coming with the stamina, endurance, right? Maybe you've been feeling a little low on energy, but having a trine at this time to your ascendant should help with that, should help with your ability to make money, should help with your ability to do what you need to do to supply and to secure an income, should do what you should be able to assist in that, and also assist to that 5th house, that Virgo energy in the 5th, which is, and Virgo is my health routines, my health habits, but my work routines, but it's in a creative placement. So if you've been feeling really like empty on creativity, like sapped and run down and just like where things were getting boring almost because there was just nothing fresh coming out of you, this is a time when the earth will step in. Those earth energies, the energy coming from Pluto and Jupiter and Saturn should come in and add an ease to your work in some way. It adds ease to the body. It adds ease to your creative abilities, your creative work abilities, your creative health routines. This is also the placement. That 5th house is also children, fun, joy, creativity. You'll just feel like you want to make something, like you want to be more hands-on. That 5th house placement, having Virgo there. Think about this. Mercury is its ruler. Mercury is all about, I need to be doing something with my hands. That's what Mercury is. It's Gemini's ruler, right? It's also Virgo's ruler. But because it's Virgo, right, there's a different taste, right? Gemini is about, I'm being creative with the way I speak and the way I think. When it comes to Virgo, it kind of graduates, right? The sign of Gemini is before Virgo. Gemini is the thinking about it. So when it gets to Virgo, it graduates into, now I'm putting it into something that's tangible. I'm actually able to take my thought and I'm actually able to express, other than just my mouth, I'm able to do something physical, something with my hands, something you can tangibly see. I'm not just talking about it, I'm being about it. You can see me. You can see the product, right? Because I start doing it. Virgo is the habits. Virgo is the how to get that thing done. The how to, like the steps I need to take to get that thing done. The project steps, the connecting of the dots. That's the Virgo energy. And that's what's wonderful about this. There might be a time when in the past you've had bits and pieces of information, because your 9th house is where you've got Capricorn. And Capricorn is that Jupiter energy. It's the mind of God energy. It's information from out there coming in. And it's tangible though. It's earth, right? So it's not the best place for it. The tangible in the non-tangible. Yeah, it's like, okay, how are we going to make this work? How do we make this work? It's like oil and water, right? They initially repel one another. One is over here, the other's over here. And it's learning, again, like all the signs, a compromise, a series of how do I meet this other energy in the middle so that we can somehow meet? Where do we meet? And then what does that look like? So it's the coming together of the thought and of the intuitions coming through, and they express creatively out of you. I love this placement. And I share this placement with you. And so at this time, and I've been observing it in myself, at this time, I really feel like I just feel like I want to get into the kitchen. I feel like I want to bake. I feel like I want to cook. I feel like I want to make a whole bunch of things. I feel like I want to sit down and draw. I feel like I need to have a tool in my hand or a paintbrush or something. And I need to be able to just let what's in me flow out of me through the hands as opposed to the mouth. Okay, as opposed to talking or speaking or singing, playing the flute. I love to play the flute or humming. It's just like it needs to be here because that's earth energy. Earth is about work. And when we associate the word work for many people who especially have strong earth energies in their chart, there should be a product. There should be something I can see, right? It should be something I can tangibly touch, something I can do, something I can be active with. Remember, Taurus is all about touching. It's the senses, so textiles, but the sensations of a touch. You can say something and I can't grab what you're saying. I can't touch it. Can I hold your thought in my hand? You can sense it other ways, but it's not something that I can tangibly go, oh, this is what you were talking about. I see it, right? That's that Taurus, the tangible Taurus and Virgo and Capricorn, like knock on wood, right? It's our physical world. It's our 3D. So understanding there should be some ease coming, right? You should be feeling that ease. Pluto is now direct already, right? Today is like the 5th of October. And when Pluto stood still, Pluto was constantly doing this. So if it's standing still, instead of moving along and going like this, right? Instead of moving along, all of a sudden it stands still, but it's still going like this. So it's going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So this was October 3rd, October 4th. So if you can look back in your life and see, was there something, remember it's the digger. It digs deep. It goes below the surface. So this could be nerve issues, but psychologically it can be past life issues. It can be things from childhood. It could be things from the past. It could be people from the past. It's all in your 9th house. The 9th house is all about your understanding of your future. Yeah, the 9th house is your philosophy on life, your religion, your spirituality, ability to travel far and away. The 9th house all comes down to my future, my thinking about my future, but it's also my ability to travel in my thoughts. For those who are on a different level, a different plane at times, it's that astral travel location. You know, I like to look at it as it's how people who have a lot of earth here, who can ascend high enough in their mind and who can literally travel without physically having to travel. They have found other ways to travel, right? It's the house of the foreigner, foreign lands, foreign languages. Also about truth. It's about truth. It's about law. It's about justice. This is the interesting thing about this for you. Because typically, if we have Jupiter in Capricorn, everyone says, oh, it's not good. It's not a good placement. But it's Jupiter in Capricorn in Jupiter's home. Jupiter rules this place. So in essence, there is a very slow process of the good coming. It's very tedious. It's very slow because it's in Capricorn, but have faith because it's your long term. You're going to get it. It's going to happen. Don't lose faith. Remember, it is slow and steady that wins the race. This is Capricorn energy. There is no instantaneous catapult. Just I'm at 1 and all of a sudden I'm at the top. It's not going to happen that way. Capricorn doesn't work that way. It's meticulous, it's methodical, it's slow, it's steady. It just keeps on going. It's persistence and perseverance until it gets to that point. But because Jupiter is there, it likes to expand things. So what that means is at times Jupiter is able to expand the slowness. That's why people are like, oh gosh, Jupiter and Capricorn, not the best placement. It can expand the slowness. There will come a time when you will feel these little elevations, where you will feel these little bursts. And in the middle of a trine, this is when you get that assistance. And that's what's going on right now. And so for any earth sign who's on the rising sign, this is a benefit. So when we talk about your 5th house, again, children, fun, joy, creativity, there may be an ease. Something that was stuck may all of a sudden move forward now. Same with your 9th house and spirituality, publishing, writing, because we have creativity in the 5th house. So at the same time, it's creations, being, creative projects for your future. It's all about the future here. You just constantly do this work, and you're constantly doing the work with this intent of whether I get something or not, this is here for future generations, that somebody, somewhere, someday will glean something from it. It's something that keeps you sane during the time, like you feel like you're being productive. And that is very important to earth signs. Being productive, being tangibly productive, able to see the fruits of their labor, right? Virgo loves to garden. Taurus loves to eat what the Virgo gardened, right? It's all about that. It's all about, okay, we did the planting, we did the watering, we did the nurturing. Where's the fruit? Where's the harvest, right? This is it. Like, where is the harvest? We want to be able to see it. We want to be able to enjoy the harvest, to taste it, to eat it, to bake with it, to manipulate it, to shape it, to sculpt it. We want to be able to do something with it. And if nothing else, we want to be able to create something with it and then turn around and sell it. Like, that would be cha, that would be beautiful. It's taking our creative energies and making something with it. The new moon, this is October 16th. October 16th. We have a new moon in the sign of Libra. Your Libran energy typically going to be in your 6th house. Now, the 6th house is health. The 6th house is the kind of that Virgo energy, but Libran energy, typically it's the balances, it's the scales of justice. Libran energy this is Venus as its ruler. This is another beneficial thing for you, Taurus, because Venus is the ruler of you. And Venus is the ruler of this new moon. So Venus is all about what I value. What relationships do I value? What people do I value? Making sure that self is part of that picture will be huge. Making sure that self is part of that picture, meaning how do you show yourself love? What sort of relationship do you have with yourself? How has your thinking been about your relationship with yourself? This is an air sign, all right? This is a new moon in air. It's Libran air. It's cardinal air. This is the beginning of a new way of thinking, a beginning of a new way of showing love to oneself. And I have to say self because yes, Libran is a sign of relationships. And I know for many, the goal is, but I just want to find my significant one-on-one. I want to find my twin flame. I want to find the one. There's all this energy of, I should be with somebody right now. Like, here comes the holidays. Oh my gosh, do I have anybody in my life? Here's the thing. We cannot love another until we love ourselves. And there are different degrees and ways that that happens. And it's different for everybody. Like what works for me doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. But the bottom line is your ability to show yourself love, your ability to be honest with yourself, to accept things about yourself that you think you're not good enough. Those areas of your life where you think nobody would ever love me if they knew this about me. Nobody could ever love me if I showed them that this was who I was. Nobody would ever love me if they knew this. Take whatever those things are that you're keeping underneath, take those things and embrace them. Just simply accept and say, okay, maybe I don't like these things about myself, but I accept them because they are what makes me me. And if I don't like something about myself, it is me that can change it. However, do not change for somebody else. If you're making a change, make it because it's what you want. Make it because it's what you want to feel better about you. Never do it based upon somebody else or something outside of you. Always go within. And this is what this is. It's a big message of self-love. And I know you're probably going to hear a whole buttload of other people saying, hey, this is a new moon where it's based on relationships. It's based on what do we got to do for companionship and for coming together and compromising and significant one-on-ones and, just all of that. But I'm telling you, the foundation to achieving that starts here. The foundation to achieving that oneness and who is my other type thing? Where is my other? How can I find my other? It's a compromise, but we have to first learn to compromise with self. Self-acceptance, self-love. And it's not as simple as saying, I love you, or writing down, I love myself, I love myself. It's not as simple as that. We must take actions, literally. We must stand up and we must say, I need this for me. And then we must do it, regardless of what anybody else in our life says. And remembering, this is a big thing, remembering it's not anybody else's responsibility to make me happy. It's not anyone's responsibility outside of me to love me, to make me happy, to cherish me, to accept me for who I am. Once we can do this here, then we become very confident. We become very grounded. We become very lovable, right? Lovable. L-O-V-E-A-B-U-L-L. Taurus, this is your message. Love-a-bull. This is your message for you. You need to love a bull. You are the bull, Taurus. Love a bull. Love thyself. And typically, the loving of thyself, the best way to do it is also with knowing thyself. How can we love somebody we don't know? How can we love someone we don't know? October, because of the standstill of all those big planets, lots of changes in your earth world, in your tangible world, okay? And they should be beneficial. That's not to say that it's not going to be insane, because we have this new moon occurring, right? And right before the new moon occurs on the 16th, we have a Mercury retrograde. So October 13th begins a Mercury retrograde. It begins in the sign of Scorpio. So your Scorpio energy, typically Taurus, your Scorpio energy is going to be in your 7th house. This is relationships, significant one-on-one relationships. Now, before I say anything about the Mercury retrograde, I want you to think and keep in your mind the dates of September 23rd to November 3rd. Write this down, September 23rd to November 3rd. The reason we're looking at these dates is because it is between those time frames in your life, right? You put those on the calendar. It is between those weeks. This is the retrograde zone for Mercury. The retrograde zone for Mercury means Mercury was traveling here, then it stopped, then it went backwards, got information it didn't have before, and then it takes it back to the original point before it started its retrograde. That's what a Mercury retrograde is. Mercury gets to a certain point, goes backwards, gets what it needs, and then gets back, right? It's like a rerun. It's a redo. It's like rewatching a movie or rereading a book again. It goes over areas of its life that it already went over. So why am I saying that? Because when Mercury goes back, it's going to go and travel all the way back to the same location it was on September 23rd. So something significant changed. There was information. Something came through. Maybe it changed. You know, there's been so much going on, it's very hard to pinpoint what change you can attribute to what thing that happened to what planetary movement. And I don't expect you to know that, but I want you to know, and I want you to think about the dates, September 23rd, right? September 22nd, September 23rd, September 24th even. Something occurred. I know for myself, communication came in on that day. I got a piece of mail, right? And so stuff comes in, right? But then Mercury's going to retrograde and come back to this point again. And when it gets here, it's like it forgot something. It dropped something. There was details. There was something left behind. And it grabs it and then it takes it back. And when it'll get back here by November 3rd. And typically when Mercury gets back to November 3rd, it will then have the information, the missing pieces it didn't have. And that could look 1,000 different ways in your life, all right? But understanding where it happened in your life will help you. Right? I don't have your chart in front of me, but I can tell you that because it happens in Scorpio and Libran energy, this is significant one-on-one relationships. This could also have to do with law, meaning like the court system, the scale, the balances, right? The justice. It's all about that for me. But it's also bonded relationships, people that you're bonded with possibly through money, people that you're bonded with through deep emotional emotions from the past. There's all that going on because that's Scorpio energy. Scorpio energy is emotional healing. Like there's deep wounds from the past that need emotional healing. And there's that connection that's happening. There's that connection that's working itself out. And the one thing I've learned about astrology by observing my own life and watching the planets is that we always have this thing about intent and you must do, and you have to do this. But folks, I'm going to be honest with you. When I watch the planets, when I listen, and when I watch myself in my life and what's going on and the events that occur, there are times where I feel like, okay, I'm not going to respond to that just to see what happens, right? Just to test the astrology, just to see, will this happen if I don't return that paperwork? And I know that's like kind of insane, but I swear I thought about that multiple times. Like, because I said, okay, well, astrology is showing me that this is supposed to happen, meaning it's going to happen regardless. So should I like not fill out paperwork and see what happens? Anyway, I didn't do that because I'm living in the earth plane and I have to abide by the earthly rules of the physical body. And I went ahead and did it. But sometimes I get very tempted to do that just to test astrology, just to test the theories of it. Like, okay, if you're all that, prove to me. I always have this thing going on where I'm testing it and I'm like, prove to me. You're going to fail. I know you're going to fail, And so maybe that's a good thing because at the same time, I'm always digging deeper. And this is Pluto standing still. You're witnessing it right now in me. I'm Pluto standing still. Pluto empowers you. Pluto being an empowering energy. It's power of the government, power because it's Capricorn energy, power of those who are in charge, right? Saturn standing still. This is all in your 9th house. Big business, big government, those who are in charge, they are the rule makers. And it's just fascinating because this is all happening during election time if you're in the US. And Mercury stands still, stops its retrograde on the 3rd. And so by like the 4th, then Mercury begins moving direct again. And so it's after the 3rd that we feel like we know more now than we ever knew before. Like there's additional information coming out, but it's not coming out until after the election. So this will be interesting to see what happens, and I can't wait to observe what happens here in the States and to observe astrologically, just knowing all this, but recognize too that when November begins, actually the end of October, like October 26th, we're already hearing about a rise in the virus cases. And we knew this was coming, all right? People who look at astrology know. And all you got to do, if you have your own chart, look at where Neptune is and look at where the North Node is. They're exactly squaring, right? They're literally within a 2-degree orb. We've got the North Node in Gemini, and Gemini is our lungs. It is our ability to breathe, to talk, to speak, to communicate, to think, being squared by Neptune at a 90-degree, tight 90-degree angle. And this begins at October 26th, folks. So take care of your health. Now, this does not mean, hey, you have to have the virus. It doesn't mean that. This whole virus, the whole ugly bug, yes, wear masks, be smart, keep up the hygiene, keep up social distancing, and make sure you're really, really doing it. Like sometimes when we do something after a while, we get lackadaisical, right? We start to, well, do I really need to wear the mask? Do I really need to use the hand sanitizer? Do I really need to wash my hands? Do I really need to stay 6 feet away from somebody? Yes. Make sure you're doing it. Neptune is the ruler of pandemics, okay? Neptune is water, right? And water squaring the lungs isn't good, right? It's water squaring the lungs. What is that for some people? Pneumonia. I know somebody who is prone to pneumonia, and they're going to have to be very careful. And this is all the way until February of 2021. All the way until February of 2021. This is information telling you, make sure you're taking your vitamins, you're getting fresh air, you're getting sunlight, even in the dead of winter. If you got to go outside and spend, like I'm going to have to go outside, spend time in the sunlight, even though it's going to be freezing, you gear up, put your gear on, get out in the yard, stand there, get the sunlight, let it come through your eyelids. You need sunlight on your skin, taking your vitamin D3, that's going to be imperative. Making sure you're being physically active and eating good foods. How many people eat foods that are packaged, right? They get product in that they didn't make and it's packaged. Anything that's been mass produced, mass processed, you're going to want to stay away from it. Stay the hell away from it during this time. Sugar, stay the hell away from it during this time. I don't claim to be a doctor. I don't claim to be a nutritionist. I am just using old-fashioned common sense. Anything that's mass produced, anything man-made is least healthy for you. Every time something is manufactured, the more something is refined, the less good it has in it. Every time something is refined, the less original whole nutrients are in it. Common sense. It's not rocket science. These are little ways, little simple ways to keep your health in check. Full moon at the end of October, okay? It's October 31st. Taurus, this is a big deal. I want you to find out where is your Taurus sun at. And it's a big deal because it's a full moon, and it's the full moon that's conjunct Uranus. It's, yes, it is on October 31st. It is on Halloween. What we're going to want to do is make sure that we know where our sun sign is, because you may be listening because you're a Taurus sun sign. If you are, I want you to tell me, I want you to find out where is your Taurus sun at, because this particular full moon is conjunct Uranus. So if you have a sun, or any planets for that matter, in the sign of Taurus between 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11 degrees of Taurus, this is going to be a big, big deal for you. This is the moon on top of Uranus at 8:41. And this full moon may make you emotional. And it will most definitely make you emotional if you have anything in Leo and if you have anything in Aquarius. Because Leo energy and Aquarius energy exactly square. Again, those degrees are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 degrees of either Leo or of either Aquarian energy. And if they square it, okay, it's just going to be a momentary thing because the moon will move, all right? The moon will move and it'll be over. However, and Uranus is a big deal. Uranus is shocks and surprises. Think of Uranian energy. Uranian energy is the internet. It is astrology, but it is my groups of friends. Uranian energy is also flight. It's about the future. It's about devices. Anything that is about that helped the advancement of humanity. Uranian energy is all about inventions, inventive. It's electricity, it's Tesla. Understanding that we can elevate our thoughts, right? That's what Uranus is. It's the mind, it's touching in with the mind of God. And so what I love about this, it's a good time to go to the opposite side of the Taurus energy, which is Scorpio energy. And that Scorpio energy, how do you take it and elevate? Scorpio energy on a really high level is doing something for another and expecting nothing in return. That is the best and the highest expression of Scorpio energy. When you're going ahead and you want to do something, almost it's a way where you are donating. We are saying, hey, I want to give this. I don't even want to be recognized. I'm just doing this because I need to do something with this energy, right? And typically you'll end up doing it with people that you have deep connections with, people who you knew from a long, long, long time ago. You somehow feel like you've known them forever. There'll be people where there's a healing that can occur because of that sort of activity. It's going to the opposite side of the Taurus energy. It's taking my values and helping to come together with our values, coming together with somebody that you know where you have shared values, because that is Scorpio energy. We have shared resources, we have shared values. There is an emotional bonding that we have over something, an emotional bonding over a thing, over a project. It can be work related, it can be business-like, but typically there's an emotional layer there. And this can be beautiful, because when we take that Scorpio energy, which is very powerful. Now remember, the ruler of Scorpio energy, it is Mars, but it is also Plutonian energy. It's very powerful, very deep, very transformational. This is what we do with this kind of energy. We take it, we raise it up, we elevate it, and we do something without expecting anything in return.